In the early 1800s, America's future hung in the balance. The young nation was poor, divided, and at war. But on the shores of Louisiana, one man built a shadow empire of smuggling, contraband, and gold. He was a pirate, a gambler, a businessman, and some say the richest outlaw America ever saw. This is the forgotten tale of Jean Lafitte, the pirate king of the Gulf. Jean Lafitte's story begins not on the open sea, but in the swamps and bayous of Louisiana. By 1805, he and his brother Pierre had set up shop in New Orleans. On the surface, Lafitte ran a blacksmith shop, but behind the forge's doors, he built one of the largest smuggling operations in North America. French wine, Spanish silver, Caribbean sugar, stolen African slaves, all flowed through Lafitte's hidden warehouses. He wasn't just stealing treasure, he was building a financial empire. And in a city hungry for goods, his black market trade made him a legend. Lafitte was more than a thief, he was a strategist. Unlike reckless pirates who burned ships for glory, Lafitte treated piracy like a corporation. He built bases along the Gulf of Mexico, with his most famous stronghold on Barataria Bay, a swamp fortress impossible for authorities to reach. From there, his fleet intercepted Spanish galleons, seized cargo, and smuggled it into New Orleans at cut-rate prices. Merchants loved him. Locals adored him. Even city officials looked the other way. Some say they took a cut. By 1810, Lafitte controlled a network worth millions in today's money. He wasn't just the richest pirate, he was one of America's richest men. But Lafitte's wealth soon collided with history. In 1812, America declared war on Britain. By 1814, New Orleans was under threat of invasion. The British had a problem. They needed a way into the city. So, they turned to Lafitte. They offered him land, money, and power if he joined their side. But Lafitte surprised everyone. Instead of siding with the British, he warned the Americans. He struck a deal with General Andrew Jackson. His pirates would fight for America in exchange for pardons. On January 8, 1815, Lafitte and his men stood on the front lines at the Battle of New Orleans. Their cannons, their ships, and their grit helped crush the British. Jackson won the battle. America celebrated. And Lafitte, he walked away a hero and richer than ever. But Lafitte was still a pirate at heart. After the war, he tried to go straight. Jackson pardoned him, and the US government looked the other way. But the sea called him back. By 1817, Lafitte established a new base, Galveston Island, Texas. There, he created what he called a pirate republic. For a few years, it thrived. He taxed ships, ran smuggling rings, and lived like a king. But power breeds enemies. In 1821, the US Navy stormed Galveston, burning Lafitte's settlement to the ground. The pirate king vanished into legend. Some say he died in battle. Others claim he faked his death, slipped away to the Caribbean, and lived out his life in secret. No one knows for sure. But the strangest part of Lafitte's story isn't his life, it's his treasure. Rumors spread that Lafitte buried gold across Louisiana and Texas. Farmers claimed to find Spanish coins in their fields. Divers searched bayous for chests of silver. Even today, treasure hunters still scour the Gulf, chasing Lafitte's lost fortune. If true, it would be worth hundreds of millions. But nothing has ever been proven. All we know is that Jean Lafitte turned piracy into a business, and business into legend. In the end, Jean Lafitte was more than a pirate. He was an entrepreneur, a strategist, and perhaps America's first outlaw tycoon. He built an empire from nothing, fought a war that wasn't his, and left behind a mystery that has never been solved. Because sometimes the greatest fortunes aren't the ones we find, but the legends we can't forget. Jean Lafitte, the richest pirate in American history.